Welcome back, everybody. We are at Lucky Feet, and today I just want to help people out there and show people that, hey, you should probably get good shoes. So this
Hello.
is Sarah.
Welcome to Lucky Feet.
Awesome. I'm going to spin this around and I'm going to show you which shoe I wear, because I weigh about 2+. I'll just say 2+ because I'm a bit heavy-ish, right? So, I got flops, I got these guys, certain shoes I wear at work. I actually don't have my other Hokas here, but I do have these guys here, and they're awesome. And if you don't have Hokas or whatever, you should. I have to help people because I see so many people at work, and I'm like, yeah, you're hurting, huh? They're like, actually, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, I just see things. I was there, so hence why I'm trying to help everybody out there. Now let's get to the video.
So what's going on with the feet? Where's the pain?
Well, for me, I have really high arches.
Okay.
And I would say at about hour 2 of work, it's just pain. I don't have option to actually sit.
Okay. You're on your feet the whole time.
Yeah.
Is the pain somewhere specific? Like, does it start to hurt in your heel and then everything hurts, or they just start to ache? Can you pinpoint like where it starts or where it bothers the most?
It's all arches.
Okay.
But
so
yeah,
the pain itself is in the arch.
It's the whole foot. It just sucks.
Does that come up from the feet, like into the knees, the hips, the lower back? Is there joint pain?
The knees, for sure.
Okay. And is that a constant thing, like every day too, or only when you're at work?
Only at work, because we aren't taught how to lift correctly.
Okay. So does your work require that you wear a certain type of shoe? Are there any restrictions as far as footwear goes at work?
They have to be black.
Okay. It doesn't have to be slip resistant or steel toe?
They should be, but...
What do you do at work? So you mentioned that you stand a lot. Are you standing in one place, or are you walking a lot?
I walk a lot.
While you're walking a lot, are you also moving things, twisting and turning,
Yes.
moving things from one place
all
to
day.
another? Okay. So from there, in a minute I'm going to have you kick off your shoes, but I'm asking you a few more questions.
Sure.
So is there any type of like exercise, gym activity, walking routine that you do throughout the week?
Yeah, the gym.
Okay, and what do you do at the gym?
All the above. I'll do weights. I'll do hit stuff. All the above.
Do you run?
On occasion.
Okay. When you're doing the hit and like weightlifting, your side to side, what type of shoes do you wear for that?
I wear these ones right here. I've had these guys for years now, but with these, I, of course, had to have this kind of sole here, like an insole, because I got some arches, as we will actually see up on there. But yeah, I've had these because I've heard you're supposed to, for certain things you're doing at the gym, you want more of a base, and you want your whole foot on the ground. I'm like, yeah, but your arch, and then it hits your knee, and then it goes in, and all that kind of stuff. But I only wear these to lift.
Okay.
I use these ones on to run.
Outside of the gym, is there any type of hobbies, activities that require you to wear certain shoes, like hiking, gardening, or stuff like that?
I don't garden. I don't garden.
Have you tried? No, just kidding.
Nope.
Good for the mind. Okay, but hiking-wise, things like that.
Hiking, I will probably use these on. I have, or these here. I'll use these for hiking because they're super cheap. If I screw them up, I don't care. Then I use the Van high tops.
They look like they've been hiking.
I use these outdoors mainly if I'm out in dirt.
Okay.
Hills, to go do a lot of stuff.
Okay. And then home. What goes on at home?
Mainly it's the flops.
Okay.
It's yep.
Okay.
You got all the floppers.
And how often are you dressing up?
Right now, not too much, but I do have certain pairs of shoes I would wear, and they hurt my feet after a few. I'd say like an hour.
Okay.
I'm like, ugh.
Okay. And it's still just in the arch, always in the arch.
Yeah, it's the whole foot.
Okay. Let's kick off the shoes.
Kicking off the shoes.
Let's kick off the shoes. I'm going to
Yeah,
have
this is a
you roll
nice
your
chair.
pant legs up a bit.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, we want you to
This
stay
is
nice and long,
nice.
try on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What size do you normally buy yourself?
13.
Okay. Good. When's the last time you had your feet measured?
About a week ago.
Oh, good. All right. Good answer.
So they should be on point.
Let's go ahead and have you stand up for me. We're going to do right foot first, all the way to the back. Okay, so what I'm doing now is measuring your arch length. This is really helpful to determine what size would fit best based on the width of your foot, and helps me to size you into 3/4 orthotics. They tend to have a higher arch for the foot. All right, we're going to do this side over here too. 13, this is your longest measurement, so 13 would be good. Ball of the foot's a bit longer, but 13 would still fit well in between that.
What the heck?
So your arch length can be different from your foot length, so it's always really important to see both measurements. In some feet, we might measure the foot maybe a 10, but the arch measures an 11, so that foot probably would still fit where it's widest, best into an 11 where it's widest.
Okay.
That allows your toes to spread the best in the widest part of the shoe. We're gonna take a scan. So I'm gonna have you step up on the mat.
Scanner.
All right, comfortably as you can, arms at your sides, look straight ahead for me. So the pressure map helps us to see where pressure builds in the feet, helps us to look at your body alignment, helps us to see your arch type.
And I do have a hurt knee on my left side.
So you can go ahead and step down. So in your left foot, you can kind of see how you're not really pushing all the weight down onto the foot, and what is kind of gently leaned out a bit. This is probably to spare the knee from that full rotation.
All right.
We're always going to have pressure in the heel, but what we want to look at is when that pressure becomes intense, where we're looking at like these pressures up here. So not so bad there.
Yeah, well,
This
up there.
is a nice little hot spot there. You might callus down there. We'll probably be able to look at some of the inlays in your shoes and maybe see some of that pressure that builds. And this is also just feet standing. Once the foot starts to walk, even more pressure is going to come up there and build in that area. So no pain up there that you experience?
No.
Okay. Pressure doesn't always equal pain, but
Okay.
if you were to start experiencing some discomfort there, the insoles that you get from here, you're able to bring them back at any point in having them and have them modified to help address that pain right there too. Other than that, we don't see all the toes touching, especially not the ones that lie above the high pressure on both feet. The toes that are touched, these are the bottoms of toes, more like they're grabbing for balance, which
Yeah.
is also common in a high arch. A little bit of pressure in the push off here. You do have high arches both feet. I know that the mat reads a medium and a high, but they're pretty high. And not only are they pretty high, but they're not really building any pressure in the arch.
Okay.
When the arch lacks support, this is why we build so heavy on the opposite sides. This is the arch's job, is to fill in this empty space.
Yes.
Filling in the space allows the pressure to become balanced over the foot. And the reason this happens is because our feet are designed to walk on a natural terrain, on dirt, on sand, on grass, where the arches are naturally filled up, pressure is balanced, body is aligned. Now we walk on surfaces that are hard. It's not going to come up to the foot.
Yeah.
Instead, the foot's going to keep coming down to it. That's where we experience the knee pain, the lower back pain, and the hip pain. The arch's job is to bring the ground up on surfaces that won't.
So mainly because as you walk, as your arch goes in, all of this has to go in as well.
Yes.
And so in your opinion, you should have arch support at all times?
If you have pain in your feet, or you've been prone to certain types of traumas or injuries, it's best case that you keep the feet consistently supported. There are certain pathologies that require consistent support just off the bat, like plantar fasciitis, arthritis. If you want to control the foot from the movement that causes the pain, it has to be a consistent amount of support.
Ah.
So those are different arch types that we're going to view up here. You're right up there in that top one.
Like that.
Raises the instep bones. You'll also notice that on that foot model how the toes are lifted up. How you don't see all of them touching down.
Yeah, this one's flat.
That's what's happening here.
What the heck?
And then you'll notice, you can go ahead and grab it down.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was glued.
Underneath, you'll kind of see where all of this tends to build up. This is the natural padding that sits under the bones of the feet. That's what's happening there. So this kind of groove here is where we would sit some metatarsal support. It's like a funky little ball that's going to sit back here, spread this out. So what it does on the foot is to sit into this groove here, pull this back underneath, so you're putting the fat pad underneath the bones and releasing some of the tension in the toes right here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So here's kind of, I guess, your
middle grounds.
Your main, well, the up to a point. It has an arch.
Yes. So this is what a quote unquote normal arch foot would look like.
Okay.
So you can see just how high yours is. If this is considered like your average arch, how much higher yours is really lifting underneath your foot.
And I would say it also because of how I'm shaped.
So yes and no. Your body's alignment though is still, there's a center for it.
Yes.
There's still a center for your body being aligned so that everything can work its best together. Okay. That's another benefit of having the arch support. You mentioned how, yes, when the foot's rolling in, it's bringing the knee with it. That's the next joint that's going to be up there. Mm-hmm. So keeping an arch, even this is much lower than what we would talk about with you too. Even at its lowest point, puts the foot back into alignment. We want to keep you in a neutral stance. Okay. So if the foot is able to roll itself too far in, or in some cases roll itself out, it can really wreak havoc on the whole rest of the body. So we want to keep arch lifted, subtalar neutral. That works its way through the whole body to keep your body aligned.
So for certain people who want these shoes, it's not like I would say that it's all right, but you still need arch support. Or for some people who don't even wear, they're like, oh, I want to squat without shoes on because you have more up on the ground. But if you're putting like a lot of weight and your knee goes in, it's like, okay, you just put so much more weight on your knees.
So that's a great question. So let me show you. I'm going to show you this thing called a balance test.
A balance test.
So what I'm going to do is grab
balance test.
An orthotic.
Orthotics.
That would work well for your high arches.
Uh-huh.
So this is a common question that I get from people who lift weights and squat, primarily those two things. Should I be barefoot? Should my arch be supported? So when you have a foot that overpronates or underpronates, when your body is not in alignment, it's not its strongest. If you want like true core stability and the body to work its best together, you want to bring the ground up to the foot. Okay. I'm going to show you a balance test. So what I'm going to have you do is stand feet about shoulder width apart, elbows to your sides, one hand on top of the other. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bear down on your hands, and I'm going to try to get you to break your stance. So I want you to stand as straight and strong as you can. I won't let you fall. You might feel your toes grab. You might come forward, but won't let you fall. Okay.
So my knees a bit bent, or are they straight?
Straight's good. Well, as strong as you can make yourself.
So like just like a hair bent. All right.
Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You feel yourself come forward?
Yeah.
You feel yourself come forward?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to have you turn around and do it the same way. So one hand on top, but behind you. So this time...
like I'm being cuffed right now. Sorry.
So this time when I push down, I'm going to lean your arms out just a little if I can. You might feel yourself lean to the back. Heels might dig in.
Yeah,
Okay, you ready?
Very well, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
see those toes lifting,
Yeah.
foot's coming back, body's coming back. Okay, go ahead and turn around for me.
Turn around.
So this time we're gonna do the same thing and without a shoe, without even putting in a good shoe. We're just gonna
Flat
put
feet.
the arch supports on the ground. This lovely Savella arch support. Okay.
Oh, she's saying names. Look at her.
Okay, you can scooch them if I put them too wide, but just wherever is comfortable so we can recreate that first part.
I am bow-legged.
So now we're just lifting the arches. Without even being in a fantastic shoe, we're just gonna lift the arch up.
A fantastic shoe. Some Hokies. Sorry.
Okay, one hand on top of the other. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. That's crazy, yeah.
Okay, and I'm gonna keep you in place.
Hold on. This is a trick right here. So here, let's do this like quick, and then I'll hop out of them, and then we're like, and we're gonna do it again.
Okay. All right, you ready? Okay.
All right, we're good.
And I have to push like so much harder.
All right. Yeah, out of them now. Go ahead. Yeah, I already feel. That's so crazy. All right, let's spin around. I'm not. No, yeah, this is legit. All right.
Okay, and then hands behind you. Okay, you ready?
Yeah. Oh, easy. Oh yeah.
And I push so much harder on the second one to really show you. You want to do it again? Because I'm bearing weight down.
All right. Yeah, out now.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, out again. Yeah, I already feel my knee snapping. All right.
So the reason that happens, your whole core is strengthened when your body is aligned. Imagine how much more weight or how many more reps you can do because your body's not fighting itself to be strong for you when you need it to be strong.
Yeah.
Once we put that in something that's meant for how you walk, we create a powerhouse of support, comfort. This is what gets you through the day. So next thing we normally do is take a look at how the feet are moving so I know what to put that in. Watch the walk.
Watch the walk. We're going to watch how I walk. All right. That's so weird. I don't know. All right. You ready?
Okay. Come on down.
Come on down. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right.
I love that show. Okay. I'm going to have you walk back the other way. And then one more time for me.
One more time. And I'm going to do I'll do a spin too. That's good.
The arch pain that you feel, is that worse on one foot than the other?
Probably, but I've been off for a while, so I haven't been on my feet. So.
Okay. There's definitely some pronation happens in your feet where the arch itself wants to collapse a little bit.
Okay.
What I see a lot of, though, is the pitch that happens at the ankle, where you're right, there's some bowing to the leg. That can be a tricky thing to really dive into, only because in one sense we want to lift the foot, but we don't want to lift it enough that we increase the foot leaning out because it builds more tension in the knee. So generally what we're going to do is support the arch, but we're up here, we're going to put, or underneath the orthotic, little wedges.
Yes.
Usually about here.
I have
and
those.
one up here.
I'm gonna show them.
Yes.
So I got these guys here. I did buy these from here because they're awesome. So yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And so, and even with
them high arches though. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. This is we wanted to reach up into the top of the foot. So there's a couple ways to do it. In this case, they supported from the heel up to pretty much just right behind the base of the fifth met. In some cases, we'll split it. So there will be one at the heel, there will be a small gap, and there will be another at the front. But this is the same common vision, the common goal, is we're trying to bring the whole foot over to take some of that tension off the knee, off the hip. And it looks like it did well because you have your strike point. This is how the foot should move. Strike on the outer heel, move towards the big toe, push off. These do line up with your high pressure areas. You could definitely benefit from having some metatarsal relief to lift this part of the foot up so it's not so heavy. That would help all of this pressure that's building. You could use a higher arch because, again, this area in here, it's not lifting as much as it could. So what we might do is either show the arch we started with for the balance test. If we came to something cushioned, we want to put another arch underneath it so we could lift this mid part up more. That would also help with the pressure that's up there. And kind of the same thing, both feet. There's still a lot of kind of outer lean. So this is doing its job. Just want to keep them fresh. These types of orthotics are designed to last about, I'd say, 5 to 7 months.
Yeah.
So we want to be sure that they stay fresh.
Yeah.
But it did its job. It did what it was meant to do for the foot.
Scheiße. So for certain ones, like this one here, it's not as flexible as these.
Right.
Is that okay or no?
So with your foot, if we want to do the maximum at controlling that foot, we would use something stiffer.
Okay.
If we want to really meet the arch's needs as close as we can, we would do something in that stiffer base, just because the arch is higher. When it comes to trying to control the foot, a lot of times cushion can't get you exactly where you want to be.
Okay.
So this is still dependent though on the kind of shoe that you're going to put it in.
Okay.
So if you were going to put this in a shoe that's flat and flexible, you're going to get very little out of what it can do. So if the shoe is flat and flexible, then the orthotic needs to be stiff.
Okay.
If the shoe is a tank, it doesn't bend, move anywhere, it's already stiff as stiff can get, you might want to put something cushioned in there. So you're balancing those two things for like best case. I find it beneficial to have both.
Yeah.
That means whatever you take today, whatever you take in the future, your constant base is there. I have a stiff shoe, I've got something soft, I've got a soft shoe, I've got something stiff. I always have an arch to put in my shoe.
So you're saying practically you need arches.
Yeah.
So shoes. Why Hokies? Or Hokas, okay.
The way I kind of look at the footwear is not so much that one brand is specific to one type of foot. It's more about what you're going to do in the shoes. So if we were looking at the way that you walked, your pressure scan, and what you're doing at the gym, I would actually go with an Arahi instead.
Okay.
An Arahi uses this J-frame design that goes all the way down the inside of the shoe and around the outside. So a nice little J there.
Yeah.
This gives you support to the foot that's dropping and support to the foot on the outside, like the wedges that are going in your shoes.
Yeah.
This would support the weightlifting, the cardio, the side to side, the run.
Oh.
Now, some people might want to be a bit lower down when they're lifting weights, so they have a little more contact with the ground. In that case, I would come completely out of Hoka, and I might come to the Adrenaline from Brooks, even a 1540, depending on the person that I've got in front of me or how much they need. This feels like standing on a flat surface.
So like for me, I'm not trying to be, no.
I understand, right?
I'm trying to be somewhat cool, you know? So
Well,
like,
in all fairness, right?
Yeah,
in all
yeah,
fairness,
yeah.
but that would make me just in my job to force me to ask you the question: do we want to get the most out of our workout or look the coolest during our workout?
both. I want all in one special. I'm not trying to, come
Fair
on.
enough.
now.
So then
Yeah.
maybe we come back here to the Adrenaline, because that matters too. I mean, the shoe can only help if you're going to be willing to wear it. But what I would not recommend is that you be very high up like that when you need side-to-side support. The Adrenaline is one of my favorite lifting and squatting shoes.
Okay.
So it uses a guide rail system, props up the inside, props up the outside. With the orthotic inside, you're going to push up and squat more than you're
Shred it
probably
out.
used to
Ooh,
doing. So
dang.
that's my favorite for the lifting and the squatting. Hoka is great for running. It uses a meta rocker system that really propels you forward, absorbs impact to the joints, and really keeps the feet moving, like in a forward motion. So those would be really complementary to each other, one for running, one for working out. And you definitely want to make sure that you separate those shoes and your running shoe just for running.
Okay.
Past 500 miles, you risk injury to the body.
500 miles. I've put years on those things.
So running just for running. And we've got a knee injury.
But it's not from, actually it is from the doing certain things without having shoes on. So I'm sure that caused it. Ish. I'll say ish on that. I'm going to say that lightly. So I was told for people who, you know, who are are at a job and have to be on their feet every day. I've heard you have to wear one pair of shoe this day, and
You should alternate your footwear.
Yeah.
The shoe is absorbing a lot of shock, and if it never gets a chance to unload that, you're just beating it to death, and you're not likely going to get the true life of the shoe out of it that you could have gotten. Now, for work too, we would treat it kind of just like the exercise. So this is why I asked you what you're doing. Are you just standing in place? As if you stood in place and never moved, we might look at like a Bondi, especially a Bondi SR if you needed slip resistant shoes.
Right here?
Yep. If you are now turning side to side.
Shit, look at this though. Look at this. That's like 2 inches right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So cushion under the foot because you're just in one place. The pressure's just building.
Pressure.
It's harder to be in one place than it is to walk miles. It's
Yeah.
demanding on the body. So that'd be great. And again, I'm kind of tailoring this to what I observed in your fitting. So standing in one place, that would be fine. Once we start to move about and we're carrying stuff, we're going to come back to that side-to-side control.
Yeah. So I see a lot of people at work who have these, right? So in your expert opinion, compared to this,
So we've
how do they differ?
definitely all been at a gym or at work or even in your day shopping where you've seen somebody at work in your typical kind of flatter soled shoe that's very flexible. And the problem with that is that for that kind of activity is that it's almost like being barefoot inside.
Okay.
The pressures that we saw on the pressure map over here,
Yeah.
those are intensifying. So there's nothing within the shoe that's helping to distribute them.
Yeah.
There are times where this is the kind of shoe that you need to have.
Okay.
Just you want to make sure that the shoe you're wearing supports the activity you're doing it in.
Oh. So you would say no-go on a flat, no-soled shoe if you're just going to be walking or standing.
At work.
Look at these.
At work. You want, and especially if your job requires you to lift a lot, to move and turn about, to stand on your feet for long periods of time.
Yeah.
The shoes that you choose can definitely help that process or make it harder to get through it.
Yeah. Interesting. So you're saying whoever out there should invest into a good shoe.
A good work shoe. Your feet are your money makers. You gotta take care of them.
That is true. So these aren't cheap, but yet if you kind of see where it leads, then like, oh, I have hurt knees, I have a hurt back, or whatever. I'm like, yeah, you're in a flat foot shoe. It's
Your feet are asking for more support. And then there was a couple other things we touched on, like hiking. So when it comes to hiking, a lot of times we'll see that corner, the investment into a good hiking shoe can tend to get cut sometimes too. And a lot of times it's because they're going to get dirty.
Yeah.
But then we're kind of sparing the shoe to hurt the body in that case. If hiking is something you love, you should have a hiking shoe.
Okay.
Something that's got deeper grooves.
Oh, shit, these are like spikes. Oh, bleeding.
Meant to grab uneven, shifty terrain, dirt and rocks.
Yeah.
This is meant to dig in and keep you safe when you're up there.
So these ones actually are like a bit more flexible
in the toes, yeah.
But yet they'll actually, I would say probably get these compared to these because it seems.
Yeah, and then again, when you're up this high without any kind of side-to-side support and your feet can lean in or out, if you're inclining or declining higher up with no side-to-side support and your foot needs it, you're putting yourself into a position where you could risk injury.
Oh.
So in the Ultra shoe that we have here, it's negative heel, so you're already balancing the difference between the heel and the toes.
Look at
and then on the sides, you've got kind of barriers like we talked about on the adrenaline that keep your feet supported side to side. It's got a wide toe box that allows the feet to spread naturally. And then underneath it, a Vibram sole and all kinds of grip. I mean, that can take anything, whether you're camping, you're hiking, you're trail running. That's designed for all of that.
It's fancy.
And then even down into dress shoes, there's different types of dress shoes that we carry here. If you don't dress up a lot, get yourself one good dress shoe. That thing, you know, it's going to be there anytime you need to wear it.
Yeah.
But it's going to have soles that come out so you can wear an appropriate arch support. And again, it's not going to over twist, over flex, over bend. That's going to be a constant in the store.
Oh,
it shouldn't bend beneath the arch.
And they're waterproof. No, I'm
They're
kidding.
waterproof. Yes,
Which is
they are.
awesome. So you're saying for, either if you're hiking, if you're at work or whatever, or if you're just at home, you should have support.
Always supported.
Practically.
And the shoe should match the activity. So you wouldn't want to take your hiker, you can, but for it to last its best and to treat you its best too, your hiker is for hiking and it gets to just take its break when we're not on a trail. Your runner is for running. Your work shoe is for work.
Okay.
If you have specific shoes, especially like home, work, gym, hiking, your casuals could be interchanged. You might decide I want to wear, you know, like something that's just easy to put on, that's water friendly, I can slip in and out of. That might be your base.
Cool.
That's just for everyday use. It also has an arch support that's built into there.
You see this? This is genius right here. You just like,
yeah,
damn.
you can just slide the foot in. Exactly. They also make flip-flops, and everything they do has traction for wet surfaces. Their sandals float on water, extremely easy to care for and easy to wear. Your casuals can be interchanged. Just work for work, gym for gym, your most important ones there. Home-wise, you want to make sure too that you're not barefoot. So home-wise, there's several different types of bases. One of our most common things that people will take are the Savella recovery shoes. They tend to work well with most any arch type, almost every pathology that we work with here. They are designed to be in the home, but they can also be worn out. A lot of our customers will wear them on quick errands to the park, to the beach, stuff like that, but they make a great home base. You want house shoes to sit right by the bed. You stretch your feet in the morning, feet go in the shoes before you stand up. It's a great way to start your day.
Yeah.
Some people want to have more of a dual purpose shoe, and I like to come to Olokai for that. They do a really kind of very squishy base like these here. They do some firmer bases. This is a good example to kind of explain how even your flip-flop can tailor to the way that you walk. So over there we talked about how some of the shoes were more designed for front to back support and less side to side. This is another example of how we support more of a front to back motion. If we had someone who really needed more stability, someone who leaned in very heavy or out, we might come to an Olokai where it's more posted on the sides, keeps the foot from rolling either way.
Oh, that's cool.
So we're tailoring everything to, we're going to keep coming back to the scan, to the walk, to the pain as we talk about what might help best.
Huh.
And then we're always going to leave you several options so that I can say, I recommend these things, this is what could help, but we don't know it's the magic until you've walked around and say, I think this could work.
Okay.
And then we have everybody come back at 2 week, especially if it's their first time in functional footwear or their first orthotic. If we've modified something for them, we have them come back at 2 weeks to make sure that we got it right so that we can talk about what they love, what they don't love, and we can help them get to a point where it's all love. I love everything about this.
That's so awesome. It's all about them and what's going to help us out there.
Yes. Pronation is a natural motion everyone's making. So when we mention pronation in a store like this one, we're talking about over pronation. And you're transferring too much on the inside. But the idea here is that once the foot is aligned well, the foot can pronate healthy. It can transfer weight healthy without the excess buildup that causes some of the things that we see, like ball of foot pain or arch pain, heel pain. Yes, exactly. From there, once we've helped kind of find you like your setup stuff that's going to work for you, we're going to attempt to modify whatever we can that creates it more unique to you. Adding wedges to the shoes, adding met pads to wherever we can that I can't put an orthotic, things like that. We might stretch the shoes. We might add more cushioning just because your feet are sensitive right now. You know, so we're going to go through all that. We're going to teach you how to stretch your feet.
How to stretch my feet?
Go over different stretches to help keep all the tendons and muscles warm and loose and happy. Kind of give you some in the moment stretches so that if you were out and about and right now the foot pain is getting so bad I need to do something, teach you stretches to get you through moments like that. And then when we wrap it all together, we're going to put you in a free reward program. Gives you purchase protection on your shoes.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if they're worn, if I got you that good hiker and you took it hiking and then you thought, I loved it, and then I got to mile 5 and something started to bother. If there's a better shoe I could put on your foot, we're going to do it. And the purchase protection helps us do that. We're just going to swap it out. It means free modifications to any of our shoes that you get from here. It gets you perks, coupons, early customer sales. I mean, all kinds of good stuff come with that, and it's totally free reward program. It kind of just is the difference between someone who passed through and someone who's going to be family.
Dang. Say thank you so much. So if you are in town, or if you're just kind of like, hey, I need shoes, you should hop in, because you aren't sure how you actually walk or stand or whatever, but you have options.
Yeah,
right? Which is awesome.
Absolutely. And really, the bottom line, I think this is so important that everyone knows, we don't sell shoes here. We only educate our customers, provide examples of what could help them. We're not here to be pushy.
Yeah.
We're not going to make you feel like I have to do this. We're only going to say, this is what we see, this is what we've seen can help, and then we're going to work with you through it. We want to build a relationship that's long-term, not just today, but as you really use the stuff in your life, as you go to work, or as you start that new running routine, or we want to help you get to goals. We'll help you make the goals. We just want to educate on what could be better for your feet.
Wow. But that is awesome. You're awesome.
Yeah, us too. Thank you for coming to do this.
So with that, we're going to end it. Thank you so much, Sarah. And
thank you too.
Like again, you should get a shoe that's going to help out your life, practically, right?
Yeah. Yes. So you make the most of every day.
Oh my gosh.
Make the most of what you've got to work with.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Everybody come see us.